Hello, my name is Jay Tortona, a member of the Australian delegation to the Five Eyes Alliance Economic Summit. We're here to bring all stakeholders up to date on the summit's technological status. So far, there have been two cyber incidents at the summit. The first was a data exfiltration that could have led to a distributed denial of service attack. Fortunately, intrusion detection systems identified abnormal and extraordinary activity within the network. A successful denial of service attack that disabled users' ability to use the system was not accomplished in this case. However, there are additional reasons that this has been identified as an issue. We'll review that issue shortly. A successful ransomware attack that disabled two workstations occurred after the summit opened. Software that was attached to a file that appeared to come from a known source was opened and delivered ransomware malware that encrypted certain files and disabled the effective use of those stations. Strong technical work was able to terminate the attack and restore functionality for the affected systems. However, we remain vigilant and concerned as these attacks very well could have been feints designed to distract operators or provide cover for the implantation of additional malware or theft of additional data. As the threats to this summit include nation-states, we believe it is possible that these attacks were reconnaissance to test defenses or cover for the implantation of additional software applications. In addition, there is a high probability that these attacks were initiated by an insider presenting new risks to the network. Communications between delegations to quickly identify and remediate attacks is a high priority. However, the insider threat and individual countries' needs to keep certain information secure even from other alliance countries, require limits or controls on those communications and information sharing. To combat external intrusions or capture summit communications, the host country may mandate the use of encrypted communications and multi-factor authentication methods. Source attribution is helpful in establishing provenance of incoming files. It can also be a useful initial screen to weed out possible malicious communications. However, sources can be masked. In this case, the Excel file that carried the ransomware onto the network was considered a legitimate file from a known source. This was incorrect and allowed the infection of conference systems. However, in general, a high level of cooperation and teamwork can be promoted through information sharing. Information sharing should be in all parties' mutual interest, but will be limited by issues around proprietary information that must be kept confidential for national security reasons. Insider threats also complicate the issue of information sharing for the same reason. Per the business continuity plan, the recovery plan has been activated. First, a technical response quarantined the affected systems and began scanning and monitoring systems for additional malware that may have been left behind or other program deficiencies. The integrity of the restoration of data has to be confirmed. Restored data must be verified to ensure it is usable by the individual delegation. The communications network also kicked into gear, notifying pertinent stakeholders, particularly the leadership in the individual delegations, third-party vendors, and appropriate legal bodies. Forensics procedures were also initiated to gather and document evidence, look for residual weaknesses or the further presence of malware, and identify actors or attacking systems. Finally, all evidence must be preserved in order to promote further study and improvement along with prosecution for crimes. The insider threat must be addressed as well. Evidence must be gathered and preserved that both identifies the bad actors and exonerates insiders to maintain confidence and trust in the alliance. At this point, systems have been restored. All users must verify their own data and identify and report any deficiencies. Technicians should increase irregularly scheduled scans of the system and conduct any additional needed forensics, implement adjustments, and manage patch updates. Users should be provided updates on events and security changes to improve awareness, including additional patch updates. Preventative behaviors that increase vigilance must be reiterated. The recent ransomware attack occurred because a user ran an executable file embedded in an Excel spreadsheet that they were using. Proper vigilance and awareness may have caused the user to pause and investigate the file prior to opening. Among the improvements we've identified, we would like to utilize a more comprehensive integrated tool. In addressing the ransomware attack, we utilized 7 different applications to investigate the attack. A more integrated package may be helpful to more effectively and efficiently collect, store, and process evidence. We also recommend working closely with third-party ISP to improve filtering and other defensive measures at the gateway level. We also wish to follow some of our fellow delegations in calling for active encryption protocols, including closing unencrypted ports and mandating use of encrypted ports. We also recommend additional activity monitoring and frequent and irregular malware and extraordinary activity scans. Patch updates should be frequent and enforced across all users. We expect users to be subject to more affirmative responsibilities, including ensuring patches are updated, achieving required education and awareness levels, and utilizing tools such as an email quarantine tool that requires the user to positively affirm a document or file prior to opening on the red system. All of these pieces are part of the business continuity plan. The basic objectives for the BCP is to provide clear and complete guidance on how to handle an event. It should have details, including people, contact information, effectiveness thresholds, and defined requirements and goals. A clear outline of who does what and how to reach them is important to remove confusion and reduce missteps. Target level designations and tolerances should be well defined to ensure workers focus efforts in the appropriate places. For future conferences, we expect coordination across delegations to improve the business continuity plan to ensure effective incident response and system-wide resiliency. Better confidence and trust in the communications and data systems can facilitate stronger productivity and cooperation across the Five Eyes Alliance countries.